not really into sports or anything else, so it's fun to have music as a way to express ourselves, I guess. One summer we're playing like Battle of the Bands and stuff, and then 6 months later we're playing House of Blues, and then less than 6 months later we're playing Riot Fest. It's just great to see like that other people enjoy watching us do the stuff that we enjoy.
Everyone was happy, everyone was busy, you know. The boys were playing their gigs. My daughter had her gymnastics meets. She's on a gymnastics team, so just typical busy family running kids around. He had been doing the After School Matters program for a couple of summers. Upbeat Music is one of the locations that offers that program.
Pretty much a normal day at Upbeat until the last 15 minutes of his shift.
Pretty much just like a normal day, like what I always did when I was working there. So then the end of the day comes around and I'm like starting to like cleaning the pianos and stuff. And then I'm like taking out the garbage. I see like a bunch of like lights outside and I hear like police sirens. I'm just like, oh, huh, that's kind of weird. And so I just continue taking out the garbage. I see the door open and the teacher runs back in, and I'm just kind of confused. And then following her is just some guy that I've never seen before, and he like runs at me, and then I see that he's holding like a gun. I'm just like, oh man. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. I didn't know it was a robbery that had happened in Des Plaines. I'm just like, I need to get out of here. So I like just run like out of the room as fast as I can. And like I saw a split second of somebody else running through the door after them. I run into a different room, and I pass by like the doorway, and then I realize that there's like a crazy amount of pain in my arm. And I get into the other room and I'm like, man, what is that? And I look down, my shoes are just like red, and I see just like blood dripping everywhere. And then one of the teachers in that room is like, okay, stop jumping, like you're gonna lose too much blood or whatever. And so he manages to, in that room there's like a door that leads to the outside. He manages to open that door, and there's a ton of other kids in that room too, and they're like just like watching me like spill blood everywhere, just like yelling. I'm sure they heard the gunshots come from the other room. They're probably like freaking out. So he gets all the kids and me out of that room, and we go outside onto the street, and I just see there's just like a ton of cop cars. They have me like lay down in the grass, and they like check for like where I got shot, and then some cops come over and they put a tourniquet on my arm, and I'm just like laying there like staring at the sky, like wondering if I'm gonna die right there. I was like scared for my life, scared for like other kids in the school, scared for the teachers, and I just like wanted to talk to like family.
It's so weird like how vivid all that still is in my mind, like the events of that day, and you know, like what the traffic was like, what the weather was like.
I was on my way to pick him up. A lot of traffic on the highway. I couldn't exit at Irving because it was all backed up.
I started calling him. Like it was like this panic that set in, and I just called, and it would go to voicemail, call, go to voicemail, call, go to voicemail. So then I texted him and I said, you know, Dad's trying to get over there. He's having a really hard time. He can't get around. There's police everywhere. You know, is everything okay? And then I never heard from him.
I turned onto Irving to go towards Upbeat, and my phone rang, and I wouldn't normally have answered, you know, because I didn't recognize the number, and for some reason I did. You know, it was the person in the, you know, paramedic in the ambulance, and, you know, she said that Rylan had been shot. I
said, well, where is he? He's in an ambulance.
I was, you know, asking all kinds of questions, whether I could talk to him, you know, is he gonna be okay? And she's like, well, all I can say right now is he's still with us.
What kind of a response is that to tell somebody, oh, he's still with us? To me, that means my child's gonna die.
I picked up Lucia and Kaylee and we headed over, we headed downtown to go to Lurie's. We went into the room and he was, a lot of blood, and he was just laying there.
No words can describe that. No one can ever understand that unless they've experienced some big trauma like that in their life. Like you hear of stories, but you feel so helpless. Like you see your child gasping for air and having that mask on and just the amount of blood and the amount of people around him.
I was just so thankful to be able to see them.
He asked, if anybody else got hurt.
I said, I don't know. I said, I hope not. And then he said, and where's Kaylee? And he said, I just don't want her to worry. I don't want her to worry. And then he said, well, am I going to be able to play guitar again? And what do you say to your child when you don't know? You don't even know what all the injuries are at that point. You just see what everything is looking like. And he lost 4 out of 7 parts of the blood in your body. More than half the blood in his body. He had multiple transfusions that night. Yeah, he could have died.
He's been able to do therapy during the day while he's doing school. So he's able to do school, on the computer and just turn his camera off. And he can do all of his, he can do the exercises and stuff that he needs to do.
It's been tough. The doctors and the physical therapists that I've worked with have really helped me through that, I guess. They're all thoughtful about the amount of stuff I have to do, I guess. I'm really thankful for them. They pushed me to keep working on it, keep doing physical therapy and stuff, because it gets to be so much, it's just hard to keep up with,
He was going to try to do everything he could in order to play again. He just had the determination to get there. It sounds better, now obviously than it did, a couple months ago, but it's still not at the level that it was, obviously, but it's sounding better for sure.
Not playing guitar is not an option. Well, I've had to adapt my playing a lot to how, to what my arm can and can't do. So I think it's affected my soloing a lot. Basic stuff like power chords I can't really do anymore.
He does do a lot of stuff now that, sounds great. It sounds amazing. It's just different than it was. The whole experience, the whole, everything we've had to go through, everything, just seeing everything Rylan's lost and everything that he's lost, so much. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
It helps me cope with a lot of stuff. Yeah, whenever I'm sad or angry about something, I'll just pick up the guitar and just play. Everyone, Monarchy over Monday. Thanks for checking out our set. It's been a while since we played Getting Shot, but you out of commission for a while.